Hey guys, what's up? So let's continue with this. So in the previous videos, we took care of making sure that we were able to map the data from our data object, our data array here, our data file, which this will eventually be coming in from our API and our backend. And this basically just shows you what it will look like after the API has been served to us. And then before that, we declared also what the task, what the actual task model will look like. Another thing that I wanted to show you guys on this, or wanted to bring up on this particular file, is that sometimes if you're working on only, if you're not a stack developer and you're working on front end only, and your back end guy wants to know what you need the API to contain, you can basically send this file to him, or this schema, and he'll know exactly what to do. He'll know that these are the items or properties that you need inside your API object in order to be read. Okay, so it's also pretty good because you kind of set in the ground and what's going to happen. I mean, obviously the backend developer may have suggestions of his own, and he'll be like, hey, you know what, it'll be a good idea to add this or that to it, and then that's fine. You know, you can communicate with each other. But if you set the ground rules basically on what needs to be there, what needs to be read by the front end, then he already knows at least the foundation of what you need, and then he can add on top if he wants to. Alright, so the last thing we did was basically just populate all of the tasks right here. But this is not really what we want to do. We don't want to run this tasks component, and instead we want to destruct this task component into individual tasks, so that we can again use separation of concerns and make sure that we can handle each task individually later, because those tasks will need to be deleted or modified, edited, basically, because we're eventually going to turn this into a CRUD system application. Alright, so how we're going to do this is, well, first of all, we need to create a task item component, right? So following the same pattern that we have here, we're gonna go up on the arrow just so we can kind of use the same thing that we did. And you see where we are already saying ng generate component, skip the tests, pages, home tasks. Now we're gonna do the task item, and it's gonna create a folder for my task item component. And hit enter. It's gonna do its thing. Cool, it added it. Thank you. And now we can see here that we have access to this task item in here. So let me close this other stuff here. It's home here, this model. So we're just gonna keep that. Let's close this one too. We're gonna use this one, so we're gonna keep that one open. But we're going to open our task item here, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this off because we're not going to need that. And I wish there was a way to not declare it, but I think you can't. That's why I keep doing it manually. And we're going to get rid of the app dash. Task item, then hit enter. Then now we can get rid of these this CSS file here, this SAS file. And right, there you go. So inside the task item, we are now, okay, so before we actually do this, let's go ahead and save that. Let's go to the task component, the tasks component. We don't want to do this instead. We don't want to generate, like I said, this. We want to use this tasks item, this tasks component as the parent for each task. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring the task item now in here. So we're gonna bring the task item in here. What the heck? There we go. And then we're still gonna loop through them, but we're going to create an object, or basically a directive here, to call a prop to listen to the property for tasks. And we're not gonna need this content in here. It's just gonna be like that. So now what this is going to do, go ahead and hit center. It's going to, as you can see, create a component. It's gonna map, and for as many items that they found in the task collection, which there were 3 of them, it's gonna create a component, a single component. So you basically just reproduce this 3 times. Now I have a task item, 3 of them. right? So now I just have to, basically change the properties inside of each of these. So in order to do that, we're gonna bring it now in the task component. We're gonna open up the task item component test, and the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create that prop to make sure that we can call it and bring back the task from our model. So so we're gonna bring the input decorator thing, and yep, and then in here we're going to input that is wrong input, and then we're going to create a task, and the type of task is going to be a task. Now it doesn't know what that is, but it's this one here. Now sometimes you can just do this and it would automatically import it up on the top, so that's cool. But if not, then just go ahead and add it. Now it's basically going to say that these tasks right here is going to equal everything that is in there inside. It's going to equal an individual piece of data from tasks. If I do this, then now it's still going to work, but it's going to equal to the entire collection of tasks, the entire array. But I don't want it to be an entire collection. I want each task to equal to one task, to be the same thing as one task. And that's going to be reading from this model, so it protects the data. Alright, so now that I have that available, I can go ahead now and in the task item component in here, I can then now, for example, bring my task and text in here, and it basically does the same thing because it has access to that task in here and still bringing in the test. So it's the same thing. Now my task component here is basically absorbing the entire object of props that I'm sending to it from in here, from here to here. So all we have to do now is just basically bring in the rest of them, the ID, not the ID, sorry, the day and the reminder, notification or whatever, which we will probably do that one in the next video because there will be some other stuff we have to do for that. But let's go ahead and just go on with this for now and fill out at least the structure of the design part basically. So what we're gonna do is, and you can find this in Bootstrap. I'm using a regular list group item, it's called, from Bootstrap. So it's going to be a class, and I'm gonna go ahead and copy it from there, from Bootstrap, and I'm gonna bring it in here. So it's gonna be using the class list group item, deflex, justify content, blah 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 blah. So all of these classes right here are classes that exist in Bootstrap already. No need to redefine this. However, this task class in here doesn't exist in Bootstrap. That's my particular class for my own design. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna open my task.js, my task SAS here, and I'm gonna copy it there, and you're basically just going to just copy that and add it in here. Whatever I copy from here, just add it there. Let's see, actually I'm gonna bring the entire thing because I know we'll use it later. So just copy all of this again. I'll copy it in the comments because I know you're gonna need it. So so yeah, you can just grab this entire thing, just hit enter or save actually, and now let's go back to this here. So now this class right here will be able to bring in my CSS from there basically. Alright, so the next thing that I want to do is inside here I'm going to use a div, and then inside there is going to be a class, and then this class is going to have some margins. So just these are again classes that exist in Bootstrap already. I'm just following my own class notes in here, so that way I'm not doing this on the fly and out of memory. because I don't want to, I'm already, my mind is, I already get confused enough. I don't want to get more confused and look like, oh, this guy doesn't know anything. Well, in all reality, I don't know everything. I'm just happy to share what I do know. So, all right. So and then so yeah. So I have an MS2. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. And then now inside there, I'm going to bring in the rest of the stuff. So I'm gonna bring in an H4 in here, and I'm gonna have a class of bold, which is going to be also again a class that exists in Bootstrap. And span tag maybe, yep, and a span tag in there. Now these right here are going to be my task, and copy this, and in the span tag underneath it I'm going to have my task day. So I can delete this up here now, and then when I hit enter save, then I will have basically maybe the H4 is too big. Let's go down to the 6. Yeah, I like that better. All right, cool. So this is exactly what you should expect. You should expect to have each piece of task bring in its own piece of data that is that comes with it. So we're gonna stop here, and in the next videos, we're gonna add the reminder by way of an icon, just like in the other React application that we built, so that way you know how to bring in this type of icons and create them, and then make sure you toggle them and all that stuff. All right guys, so that's all I got for now, and I'll see you in the next one.